So the first thing I want to go over for tonight's lesson is the tracking calendar. As far as the assignments that were due yesterday at 11:59 p.m., this Intro-2 and M2, I'm going to extend the deadline for those assignments to Wednesday, February 10th at 11:59 p.m. just in case, for those that did have some issues downloading some files. I will stress this, can't stress this enough. If you're having problems and you need one-on-one attention, if Friday skills assistance hours don't work for you, they're every Friday from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. If those don't work for you, give me a couple days throughout the week and times that might work for you, so that I can try to help you as best as I can. If you don't let me know that you need help, I can't help you. So I know I helped a couple of students out Saturday morning as well as Sunday evening during the Super Bowl. So I'm flexible as long as I know that you need help and that we set up some times, because I don't want you to get too far behind on some of these assignments that are due. I want you to stay up to date with them. So if you need help and the skills assistant time on Fridays from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. don't work for you, let me know as soon as possible. And that can be through an email, a text message, or a phone call. So the next thing I want to mention is for this week's face-to-face in-class assignment, we're only going to do the Microsoft Word Guided Project 1-3, which is on page 215. We're not going to do the Guided Project 3-1 because I want to make sure we have enough time for people to ask questions and try to troubleshoot any issues that people are having. Now, as far as the Module 2 email assessment assignment, that will be due on February 21st at 11:59 p.m. The reason it's not due on February 14th is because we don't have any classes next Monday, because that's President's Day. So the next class after this class will be week 7. So make sure you take care of the email assessment, because I think that's 10% of your final grade. So I'm going to move this Word Guided Project down from week 5. I'm going to move that down to week 7. Well, it'll be week 8 that we do it. We're going to do that on week 8. So make a note that we'll be working on Word Guided Project 3-1 either on February 22nd or March 1st. So to get to the Guided Project 1-3 file that we need for this, you have to go into Module 3 and click on Assignments, and this is the file that it's referencing that we need. So I'm going to download that file right now. Alright, so it's right there. You can read the skills that are covered in this project right before step 1 on page 215. I'm going to go to page 216 in the book, and step 1 says open the heart rate -01 document from your student data files. 1A says click the File tab to open the Backstage view and click Open on the left. So let me take it out of Protected View. And after I take it out of Protected View, I'm going to go to File. Oh, I've already done this. It says Open. Click Browse. Alright, and then it says browse to locate heart rate-01.dox and click open. I already have it open. If the document opens in protected view, click enable editing, and I've already done that. So that takes care of step 1. Moving on to step 2, it says save the document as your initials Word 1-3. 2A says click the File tab to open up the Backstage view and select Save As on the left. So I'm going to click on the File tab and I'm going to click Save As. And then it says click Browse. And I'm going to place it in Documents, and I'm going to place it into a special INFT folder I have so that I know where all my assignments are. Alright, that takes care of 2A and 2B. 2C says change the file name to your initials Word 1-3. So I'm going to change the file name to my initials Word space 1-3. 2D says click Save to rename the document and close the Save As dialog box. So I'm going to click Save, and now the file is saved. And I know that it's saved under the name that I gave it because if I look at the top, the heading of Word, I see that it has the name that I saved. I saved the document as. Alright, so one thing I'd like to recommend to you, as you do the steps, like each individual step, I have to check it off. So I have a pencil. I use a pencil when I'm working on these. So after each step, I always check off the step that I did. That way I don't get lost and forget where I'm at in the project or on the assignment. Because if you miss one step, that could really mess up your document. Alright, step 3 says change the line and paragraph spacing of the entire document and insert a page break between each paragraph. 3A says press Ctrl A to select the entire document. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the Control key, and you can see my on-screen keyboard. You see that the Control key is lit up, and then I'm going to hit the A, and that selects everything in the document. It says click 3B says click the paragraph launcher. That's on the Home tab or Layout tab, Paragraph group. So I'm going to go to the Home tab. I click on the Home tab. I go to the Paragraph group, and then I click this little icon right here that says Paragraph Settings. I'm going to click on that, and that's the Paragraph Launcher. So that takes care of 3B. 3C says in the line spacing area, select single from the drop-down list. So I need to go down to the line spacing. I need to go down to the spacing area, and I see right now the line spacing is set to double. I need to change that to single, so I need to click the drop down arrow and change it to single. And as I'm making these changes, if you look in this preview area down here, it shows you the changes being made. So I'm going to select double again so that you see the difference. look down at the preview section once I click double. So you see as I'm selecting it, you see that the spacing changes. That gives you a little preview of how the changes that you're making, how that's going to affect the document. So that takes care of 3C. 3D says change the after paragraph spacing to 0 point. So I'm still in the spacing area in the paragraph launcher. It tells me to change the after paragraph spacing to 0 points. So I'm going to highlight 12 and I'm just going to change it to 0. 3E says click OK to close the paragraph dialog box. So after I make my change to the line spacing and the spacing after paragraph, I click OK. And you see that made a big difference in how things look. 3F says turn on show hide. It's located in the home tab in the paragraph group. So I'm on the home tab already. I'm going to go over to the paragraph group, and if I hover over these ribbons, I'm hovering over the show hide, and if you can see the shortcut key that it shows. It says Control plus star. That's the shortcut key that you can use to get to it if you don't want to go to the home tab paragraph group and click on the show hide. So right now, if I move my mouse away from it, it's disabled. When I enable it, you'll see that bluish colored shading around it. So now that it's enabled, you see that it has that bluish shading around it. And also, if you look at the end of each line, there's almost each line, there's like a backwards P. It's the show hide ribbon that you see. So I'm going to disable it so you can see how it looks when it's disabled. So this is used to let you know the spacing that's in the document. It allows you to see if you use the enter key to go to the next line or if you use the space key. That's what the show hide is used for. 3G says click at the end of each paragraph and press enter once to add a blank line between each of the paragraphs. Don't press enter after the last body paragraph. A paragraph symbol marks the end of each paragraph. So this is the paragraph symbol right here. It's that backwards looking P. So at each one, it tells me to put an enter or use enter. So I'm going to do that so that I have a one space between each paragraph. And I'm not going to put one at the end because it told me not to put anything at the end. Number 4 says add a memo heading to the document. Place your insertion point at the beginning of the first paragraph and press enter. So what it's pretty much telling me is to go up to where it says what is maximum heart rate, and it tells me to just press enter. 4B says place the insertion point on the blank line above the first paragraph. So I'm going to move my insertion point up. Let me use the up arrow to do that. And that puts me up on the first line. And then it says, for 4C, it says type the word to and press tab 2 times. So I'm going to type 2, all capital, colon, and I'm going to press tab 2 times. So as you can see, when I press tab, you'll see the arrow pointing to the right. That lets me know that I'm using the tab. So instead of hitting the space bar 10 times, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you see, when you hit the space, it puts like little dots on the screen. But when you do the tab, it gives you that arrow. So that takes care of 4C. 4D says type all ARCC club members and press enter 2 times. So I'm going to type all ARCC club members, and then I'm going to hit enter 2 times. So 1, 2. 4E says type from colon. So I'm going to type from and then put a colon, and then I'm going to hit the tab button twice. 4F says type Taylor Mathos, comma ARCC coach. Mathos, ARCC coach. And then press enter 2 times. 1, 2. 4G says type date and then the colon. Date, colon, and tab 2 times. 4H says type the current date in month, day, year format. So today is February 8th, 2021. And then after I type that, enter 2 times. 1, 2. For I says type subject and then the colon. And then hit tab once. And then it says type heart rate training. And then hit enter 2 times. So since I'm not saving this document to OneDrive, I like to save it as often as possible. So I can either do a Control S to save. I can go up to the floppy drive right here and click that to save. Or I can go to the file to get to the backstage and then click save. But I like to save like after I do each step. I always save. So that takes care of 4. We're going to move on to step 5. Step 5 says change the paragraph alignment and font styles of the selected text. 5A says select the second and third paragraphs in the body of the memo, beginning with 220 hyphen your age and ending with heart rate is 180. So it's telling me to select right here. And I'm going to hold down my left mouse key all the way to the next line, ending in heart rate is 180. 5B says click the center button, which is located on the home tab in the paragraph group, or I can use the shortcut key Control and E. For this one, I'm just going to use the home tab. I'm going to use my mouse to go to the home tab, go to the paragraph group, and then I'm going to select center. So you see that moves everything to the center. 5C says select the paragraph beginning with 220 hyphen your age and click bold, the bold button. So I need to deselect everything. To deselect, I just click my mouse key somewhere other than what I have highlighted, and then I'm gonna highlight the line that starts with 220 again, and then it tells me to click on the bold. The bold is located on the home tab in the font group, and if you hover over the B, you see that's bold. But instead of doing it that way, I'm going to use the shortcut key of Control B to make it bold. So I'm going to hold down the shortcut key, and then I'm going to hit the B key. And that changes the font to bold. 5D says select the next paragraph and click the italic button. I can get to the italic button by going to the Home tab, to the font group, and clicking on the I. But before I do that, I need to select the next paragraph. The shortcut key for that is Control I. I'm just going to use my mouse this time. Go to Home, Font Group, and I'm going to select the italic ribbon. So now it's changed. And the way that I know that the font has changed and is using italic is if I look at that ribbon for the italic, I can see a blue shading around it. And then the same with the paragraph above it. I see a blue shading around the bold ribbon. 5E says delete the blank line between the second and third paragraphs. So I'm going to put my insertion point right between the line that starts with 220 your age and the line below it. And it tells me to delete this empty line. So I'm just going to hit backspace. Actually, hit the delete key. Backspace, you have to push it a couple more times. I'm too lazy for that. Alright, so that takes care of step 5. So now I'm going to save my document. So I'm going to do a Control S. And that saves the document. Moving on to step 6, it says change the font and style of the selected text. 6A says press the Control A key to select the entire document. So I'm going to hold down my Control key and I'm going to hit the A key, and that selects everything in the document. 6B says click the increase font size button, which is located on the Home tab in the font group, to increase the font size to 12 points. There's a figure that it references. It says figure 1-92 will show you what to click on. So I'm going to go to my Home tab, go to the font group, and there's the font size. And you see, to use the shortcut key, you do Control, Shift, and P. So Control, Shift, and the P. But I'm just going to use my mouse. I'm going to click the drop down button, and I'm going to select 12 point size. 6C says select the words maximum heart rate ? In the first sentence of the first body paragraph. So I'm going to go to my first body paragraph. I'm going to highlight what is maximum heart rate all the way to the question mark. .6D says click the font launcher, which is located on the Home tab in the font group, to open the font dialog box. Again, it references figure 1-93 to kind of give you an idea of how it looks, how it should look once you click on the font launcher. So I'm going to go to my Home tab, my font group, and I'm going to click on the font launcher. Or I could just use the shortcut key of Control plus D. And it opens up the font launcher. 6E says change the font style to bold. So I'm on my font tab. You have two tabs. You have font tab and you have advanced tab. We need to be on the font tab. So I'm going to go down to font style. Right now it's set to regular. I need to change it to bold. But before I change it to bold, I want you to look down in the preview area. You'll see the changes made in the preview area before you actually make them in the document. So always, anytime it has a preview screen, always look at the changes that you're making before you actually click the OK to make sure it looks the way you want it to look. 6F says change the underline style to words only and change the underline color to green accent 6. So I'm going to go down to the all text area and change the underline style to words only. So you can see in the preview it added an underline to the words only. And then it says change the underline color to green accent 6. So that's green accent 6 right there. So if you hover over the colors, it'll tell you what the color is. So this is the one we need to select, but I'm going to hover over another one so you can see the differences. So I'm going to select green accent 6. So that changes the color of the underline. You can barely tell on my screen, but it changed it. So that takes care of 6F. 6G says in the effects area, select the small caps checkbox. So I'm going down to the effects area, and there's the small caps, but before I click on it, look at the preview area, click small caps, and you see it just changed. H says click OK to close the font dialog box. So I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to move this over so you see right here what it looks like before I click OK, but you can see the change made in the preview screen right here. So I'm going to click OK and it's going to change. 6I says with the words selected, click the Format Painter, which is located in the Home tab clipboard button. So I still have the words selected. I'm going to go to my Home tab, the clipboard group. I'm going to hover over Format Painter right now so you can actually read what it does. This is a very useful tool or ribbon that you'll find very useful when you're working on different Microsoft Word documents. So I'm going to click on that, and 6J says select the words target heart rate zone in the first sentence of the 5th paragraph in the body. You gain the most benefits. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so I need to select the words target heart rate, which starts right here, and go all the way to the word zone, and you'll see that the font is going to change, and it has the same format as the what is maximum heart rate. 6K says select the last 2 sentences of the 5th body paragraph. Do not exercise above 85%, including the period at the end of the 2nd sentence. So still in the same paragraph. Including the period. Alright, click the text highlight color drop down arrow, which is located on the Home tab in the font group. And if you look at figure 1-94, it gives you a preview or a look at what it should look like when you click on the text highlight color drop down. So I need to go to my Home tab, my font group, and select text highlight color. I'm going to click the drop down, and it says select gray 25%. So again, if I hover over these things, it'll tell me what I need. So that's gray 50%, gray 25%. So that's the one I need to select. So you see it has a shade around it. Step 7 says use a non-breaking space to keep words together. 7a says in the first sentence of the 5th paragraph in the body, you gain the most benefits. So first sentence of the 5th paragraph, you gain the most benefits. So that. Delete the space between the words target and heart rate. So right here, alright, that takes care of 7a. 7b says place your insertion point between these two words and press Control Shift Spacebar to insert a non-breaking space. Target is wrapped to the next line so that the words do not break into between lines. So my insertion point is between the two words, right there. I'm going to press Control Shift Spacebar. Step 8 says add before paragraph spacing to the first line of the memo heading. Place the insertion point in the first line of the memo heading where it says 2. So I'm going to put my insertion point right in front of 2. 8b says change the before spacing to 72 point. That's located in the layout tab, paragraph group. So I need to go Alright, number 9 says use the thesaurus to find synonyms for selected words. Right click the word medicines in the 3rd sentence of the 4th paragraph. So let's go to the 4th paragraph. 1, 2, 3, 4. It says right mouse click on here. Right click the word medicines. Yeah, that's the 3rd. Yep. Point to the synonyms to display a list of synonyms. Select medications. Alright, so that changed that. That's 9a, 9b, and 9c. 9d says in the last sentence of the 5th paragraph, you gain the most benefits. Right click the word added. Point to synonyms and select additional. And that takes care of 9d and 9e. Number 10 says add reference initials to the document. Click the end of the last paragraph and press enter 2 times. Type your initials in lowercase. That takes care of 10. I'm going to save right now by doing a Control S. 11D or 11 says add document properties. Click the File tab to open the backstage. 11B says click the Info if not already selected, to display document properties on the right. And document properties are already here. In the title area, type heart rate training. So we'll go down to title, and I'm going to type heart rate training. In the author area, right click the existing author and select remove person. In the author area, type Taylor Mathos. Click the Show All Properties link at the bottom of the document properties. Alright. In the company area, type ARCC. Click the back arrow in the upper left of the backstage view to return to the document. "12 says add words to the dictionary. 12A says right click the word Mathos in the second line of the memo heading. So I'm going to right click that. And I'm going to choose add to dictionary from the context menu. So add to dictionary. If your reference initials are marked as incorrectly spelled, which they are, there's a red wavy underline. Right click them and choose add to dictionary. So see that has a red wavy line up under it. We can minimize that. Add to dictionary. And 13 says close and save the document. You can look at figure 1-96 before you close it to make sure it's correct. It looks fine. So I'm going to save and close the document. And that's the completed guided project 1-3.